Hello, good morning. It is 8:34. So, I was watching a few a few videos. I woke up at like 7, and something that kind of came to my mind as I was watching this last video. There's this idea that we're never we're never our final form. That we keep thinking, oh, I just gotta wait until I do this or I have this thing before I actually start living my life or doing whatever. And I think this is really important to understand that we really are never in our final form. We're going to constantly be evolving in some way. And really, what you're actually doing is you're steering how you evolve, not if you evolve. Um, so kind of understanding that, it's like, oh, this new kind of way I've been experiencing life where, February on, I've been, I feel like I've been constantly shedding my old self um in favor of this new understanding, and the new understanding just keeps coming. And I realized, what if this just is how my new normal of how I will exist? And I thought about that, and it's kind of like it's interesting because if I take that as it is and just kind of realize, yeah, maybe this is just my new normal, is just to keep growing and to constantly be understanding and evolving. I'm okay with that. I was thinking about, am I okay with that or not? And yeah, I think my answer is yeah, that's okay. If if I'm just gonna constantly be evolving, I think the groundedness uh, is going to be so important, where you have this. I've been talking a lot about this push and pull with like the ocean, or whatever it may be, where in order for me to kind of function on a daily basis, there has to be time for me to integrate what I'm getting or what I'm understanding. And then once I understand it, I can go back out and do things. And in the past, the problem was I was backed up. So I might have to integrate a ton of stuff in order to like feel ready to go back out and do things. But now that I'm caught up with everything that I understand, it really can just be a, one day on, one day off kind of thing. And what I mean by one day off is not that I suddenly just take a day off. Like, you guys have seen what I do on the days that I'm out doing things. And this week especially, it's been very obvious, because if you've seen, it really has been like, okay, I'm filming a video where I'm walking around and I'm doing things, and then the next day I'm just filming all inside. And then the day after I'm back filming, like doing stuff. And then boom, back like doing nothing. And I say doing nothing. I am doing things, it's more internal things rather than external. So it's like the push and pull between internal and external. And this really, I've realized as I'm talking about this, that what it is it's a push where you have the divine masculine doing something, and then the divine feminine in the next day kind of doing the internal work, and then the divine masculine goes out and does the external work. And it's this back and forth, this flow that really makes it to where there's a sustainability. It's like an oscillating like sine or cosine wave of, just like that. But the thing is, the peaks and the valleys aren't about like feelings or sensations or good and bad or any of that stuff. It's more about the type of energy I'm using at that moment. So the peaks I would kind of envision as the divine masculine doing something, and then the troughs are the divine feminine feeling and integrating and intuiting. And so it's not that, now just to be clear, it's not that I am not intuiting while I'm doing things and I'm not doing things while I'm intuiting. But it's like there's more of an emphasis on one over the other. But because it's in such a regular pattern of sine wave or cosine wave or whatever, there's a balance. And I'm realizing that balance is the stability. The oscillation is stable, because like I've felt this whole week perfectly stable and content. There hasn't been any like weird moments where things just haven't worked. It's just I've naturally fallen into this pattern where, yeah, it's totally okay for me to like, if I want to watch a fucking Rust video, I'll watch a Rust video. Or, if I want to play Final Fantasy game, I'll play a Final Fantasy game, right? But I'm not only doing that. And that's a distinction from the past, where it's like I'm allowing for the hobbies and interests that I have because I do like video games. I love video games. If I didn't love video games, I wouldn't want to make one or several or whatever. Um, Same thing with reading. I love reading. I also love going outside in nature. I love doing my walks that I do. I like seeing, I love seeing all the birds and the squirrels and the bunnies and, all of that stuff. And they can coexist together. And that's something that, like, I didn't realize was possible. Because I have gone outside and I've done my, 15, 20K walk. And then I come inside and I relax. I, play a little bit of Final Fantasy or that one optimization game, or whatever it is that I feel like I want to do. But I don't have to have it consume my whole life. And this is something I've never really had in the past. I haven't had balance. It's always been all or nothing. But now it's like, no, I can enjoy something without it consuming my life. And that's a part of me kind of recognizing the value in everything I'm doing and the value in myself, where I talked about food, where it's like, yeah, I can eat food that isn't incredibly healthy for me once in a while. That's not a big deal. I don't have to be an all or nothing kind of person. In the past, that's what I had to do in order to stay and stick on my goals. But that's not a thing anymore, because I recognize the value in healthy eating. I recognize how the sleep, the eating, the types of content that I watch and listen to, the going out and walking in nature, all of these things, they do they have impacts in my thoughts, feelings, all of that stuff. And so I understand the value in each of them in their own way. Even, I'll just say, even fucking rot maxing in bed. Like, there's a reason that we do what we do. And it doesn't mean that I want to rot max in bed forever, right? But sitting in bed for an hour and just fucking vibing for a little bit, that's okay. I don't if I want to do that, I'll just do it. And I won't do it every day. I got a lot of stuff I have to do. So again, it's something where each individual decision I make is coming from a higher standpoint, a higher perspective. And I've mentioned this before, where you can take the same action, but it can be interpreted very differently. You can take a walk and hate doing the walk. You can take a walk and love doing the walk. It's still a walk. You're still doing and seeing the same things, but what you're focusing on is so different. And that is what has leveled up and changed in a significant way. I have a bunch of like ideas and stuff that I've been talking about and kind of circulating in my head. And I realize when I go back, um, this there's going to be a huge opportunity for me to, because I won't be traveling. Uh, I'll be able to really, and I could have done it while I've been traveling. I just think that there was an aspect of me like I'm not going to be here forever. So I want to like get the most out of the trip, which is why I haven't really focused on the projects because I think a lot of them require me to kind of be staying inside and working on stuff. And I just kind of want to see more. So that's why, I haven't done the projects. But I'm going to have an opportunity to do the projects when I get back. And so so I'm going to take what I've learned from these trips where it's like, oh, doing the like big long walks, scheduling that a couple times a week, every other day. And I don't even have to make it the same day each week. It really can just be every other day doing the oscillation where I'll make sure to go out one day and do a lot of nature stuff and like filming the walks and talking and all of that stuff, and then coming back and having a bit more of a shorter, like, I'm inside, I'm doing stuff, yada yada yada, whatever. And I think this is kind of the way going forward. I can feel that that's kind of how the content's going to show up because this is very sustainable. Again, I still have some videos I want to work on. I also I've thought about a little mini series if people are not there's an aspect of me offering to help that I think maybe some part of it is there are people that just aren't ready. Also, to be fair, I don't have a lot of eyes on me right now, and that's okay. That's kind of part of, I think if I had a lot of eyes on me now, that would be a little overwhelming. And so, well, okay, let me rephrase that. I think if I had a lot of eyes on me in the past, that would have been overwhelming. I think now I'm getting like more grounded in how I'm going to be doing these so that it can be sustainable in a way that I don't know, like I'm figuring out my content groove, if that makes sense. So yeah, I'm thinking what I want to do. There's a mini series on, I don't know if guided meditation is not the right word, but kind of like guided inner work. And I think I can make it. I don't know how many videos it'll be. Maybe it'll just be one or two. That's why I say it's a mini series. But what I'm thinking is go through, because at the end of the day, I don't care whether someone talks to me specifically or whether they get help through the video. What I care about is people bettering themselves and healing and all of that stuff. That's what matters to me. So if I do this mini series, my thought is, okay, do a step-by-step kind of guide of like, okay, let's say I don't even have an example right now. Make up random bullshit example on something I'm trying to work on. And so what I could do is set up a guided, like, step-by-step process on, okay, imagine what you're going to be wanting to work on, or imagine that you have an issue that you're struggling with. Now let's walk through and kind of do a step-by-step breadcrumb trail to try and figure out what it is that's deeper. And the problem is, I know that it really won't be the same as me in real time doing it. And I think a lot of that is because I can feel like where a lot of these like crucial points are. So an example, if you let's say you have some sort of child wound around abandonment. I keep coming back to that because it's a really easy example and a lot of people have it. So you have the child wound, or the the child wound on abandonment. And man, I woke up and my throat was just a little bit like, I don't know if sore is the right word, but anyway. So the idea is you have this child wound, and maybe you don't know that you have the child wound. So obviously I'm pointing out like what the thing is and where we're working towards it, but like you don't know. And all you know is that every time you are hanging out with people, you meet a bunch of new friends, you really enjoy their company, or maybe it's a loved one, maybe it's like some sort of, you're dating or whatever. And the first few dates or the first few hangouts go really well. And you're like, oh my gosh, I'm finally gonna like be with someone, or I'm finally gonna have a friend group that really cares about me, or whatever it is. And then suddenly the abandonment wound pops up because someone says, I can't make it. And so what you do externally, because you don't know that it's the child wound, so, or you know, but it's like you're not consciously aware, if that makes sense. So someone cancels and it triggers this wound, and you're like, oh my gosh, someone canceled. Did I do something wrong? And so what ends up happening is you kind of self-sabotage, because you're like, maybe you contact them and you're like, hey, did I do something wrong? Is everything okay? Or you kind of panic, or maybe you get really defensive and annoyed and you're like, well, I didn't want to hang out with them anyway. It could happen in all sorts of different ways. Uh, and so that is a behavior that you externally feel and see. So to you, you're like, you go to someone and you say, "Hey, I need some help." And the person's like, "Oh, well, what's the problem?" Every time I hang out with like a new group of people, everything goes really well, and then suddenly like they just totally flake on me. And I'm like, I get upset because it's like, well, this always happens to me. And it's like, of course, why would people keep flaking on me? Is there something wrong with me? Like, I don't understand. And so you talk to the friend, and then the friend's like, oh, well, like, what happened? And maybe you explain it in like a way that is a little bit skewed towards like your perspective, and the friend's like, oh, well, yeah, fuck them. Like that's really weird that people would just flake on you like that, and you don't even need them anymore. And yeah, maybe you enjoyed them at the time, but I don't know, maybe they were using you or whatever it is, right? And this is a loop that you'll get into. And it'll feel like you're getting wronged in some way, because every time it happens, where you think, finally I found a reliable group of people or a reliable partner, and then when they flake on you, you're like, oh hell no, it's happening again. And so then you kind of act in a way that pushes people away, because you don't want to get hurt again. So you push away first before you get hurt. This is kind of what tends to happen when you have a wound like that, an abandonment wound. Because at the end of the day, you're trying to protect yourself from getting hurt by being abandoned. So what do you do when someone looks like maybe they're going to abandon you? You abandon them first so that you had the power in the abandonment. And, I'm not saying that everyone does this that has this kind of wound, but it's very common to see this. So what tends to happen is you repeat this pattern over and over and over again throughout your life. Sorry, I'm just trying to figure out like a good spot for my hand, and it's like, because I like talking with my hand or my hands, but it's whatever. Anyway, so you'll kind of go through this pattern throughout your life until you realize that there's actually something you need to be healing, and that's why you're acting the way you are. And you may not even realize how much you're actually pushing people away by what you do. And so, it may only be one time that they flake on you, and it may be for a really good reason, but you don't see it as a good reason because you feel hurt that you thought they were going to be different and they were going to be there for you. And so what ends up happening is maybe you start flaking on them because you don't want to be flaked on. And they invite you a couple times to different to different events or whatever. And in the past, before that incident, you might have gone every time and had a great time. But now you think, oh, they're going to flake on me just like every other time, so I'm going to flake on them first. I'm going to say no, to this thing because I don't want to get hurt when they flake on me. And it's insidious. It's like when they flake on me. Not if, but when. And so at first these new friends or this relationship, they're like, it's so weird, like we were having a great time and they just started not hanging out with us. They just started being really busy. And it's like, at first they're like, okay, maybe he's busy or doing a thing, no problem. But after the fifth time of you rejecting hanging out with them or going on a date or whatever it is, those people are like, man, it's a shame. We really liked this person, but they just don't seem to really want to hang out with us. So, let's stop inviting them because it's clear that they're trying to tell us they don't want to hang out with us. And so they stop inviting you. They stop talking to you. They stop hanging out with you. They stop, trying to go on dates with you. And to you, on your side, you see this as, I knew it. I knew that they were going to not hang out with me and that they were going to abandon me just like every other person that has. And so it's confirmation, and then you dig deeper in to where the first sign of someone flaking on you, even if it really is a good reason and they're not actually trying to flake on you, it's just something happened, right? You jump on it, and immediately you say, well, I know what's going to happen next, so I might as well not hang out with them because I already know the outcome. And this is how you will get trapped in this like perspective and perception. All because you didn't really realize that you're lashing out because of this like internal wound that you have. So this is why it's important to have someone, and it doesn't have to be me, but to have someone that can point out the things that they see happening from a different perspective, an outside perspective. And I'm very good at doing this. That's why I have been able to kind of grow and progress as far as I have, is because, yeah, bad things will happen. Yeah, things that you don't expect will happen. But you get to choose how you're going to take what happens. Are you going to let it bog you down and make you feel depressed and, avoid the hard stuff that you got to look at? Or are you going to grow and, figure out, oh, maybe there's some sort of thing I'm doing that is also perpetuating this cycle, and digging deeper and figuring out where that stuff is. And, at this point, like, I've gone through the backlog, so I don't have to do any more of this because I've already done it all. And it's more along the lines of, like, future things could trigger something that maybe I wasn't aware of or whatever. But that's a future thing that could happen. And when you see something in the future, it's like, oh, okay, like this is something new that I haven't experienced before. How am I going to handle this in a way that I can learn from and experience it and grow? So this is my current philosophy, is like, you take what because you're kind of caught up, or at least from my perspective, because I'm caught up, I'm able to sort through this and kind of do it in real time. So I can have that whole, imagine going to counseling, getting help, or, talking to someone that, sorry, my nose is, oh my gosh, my nose is really itchy. So you imagine this scenario. You say, I need help. You recognize that like there's something wrong because you keep, from your perspective, you keep losing friendships and people keep abandoning you. That's your perspective. Again, in this example / analogy thing. And you realize there's a problem. You don't understand really what the problem is, but you know that there's something wrong. And so you're thinking, okay, maybe there's something wrong with me because people keep abandoning me. So there has to be, like, there's something there. So maybe you go to counseling, maybe you do some internal meditation, you talk to someone, whatever it is. And you end up figuring out, oh, it's the abandonment issue. Maybe it takes you 6 months, maybe it takes you a week, whatever, however long it takes you. And then you slowly work on it and you're like, okay, great. In this case, you're effectively doing shadow work or whatever you want to call it, internal work. But you're working on it, and finally, the next time you get a new friend group that shows up, or a new partner or relationship thing, instead of doing what you normally do, which is push people away when they have something come up where they flake on you, you instead you go, oh, this is the break point where in the past I would have pushed people away because I didn't want to get hurt again. Now that you recognize that that is what you're doing, you can choose to do something different and instead go, okay, let's figure out what was the reasoning for them not being able to hang out, or what was the reasoning for them not being able to go on the date. You kind of figure it out. You're like, okay, this seems pretty reasonable. Let me give them the benefit of the doubt instead, because I know that they're not the same people that I maybe have interacted with in the past. And so the moment you make a different decision, this is what I would describe as the universe's test. And what I mean by that is, and people have talked about this a lot in different circles, the idea that when you make a different decision than you normally would have in the past, it shows to the universe, to whatever, that you are in fact capable of having this new friendship or this new relationship happen because you acted differently. You proved that when push came to shove, you were going to do the thing in a different way. You weren't going to go and fall back into the cycle that you used to do. This is how you truly change and grow. And guess what? The moment that you decide not to push people away, suddenly you have a friend group. And it seems magical in the moment because you're like, oh my gosh, they're actually a friend group for me that isn't going to push me away. That's awesome. not realizing that the whole time your actions were what were causing the push away, not you yourself. And that you always could have had those friends, but the wound that you had in the past had you acting a certain way that would then push people away and reinforce that belief in your head. And so this like microcosm that I just explained, this is how you change in a deep fundamental level. That's all it is. Now, take that, all of that work, and see and apply it to like how I've been explaining like my process. I do that, but I do that on a daily basis where I'm like, okay, what are my actions? What am I doing? I'm analyzing like, okay, is there any action I'm doing to push things away or to, whatever it is, right? Did I like the outcome that I had from the interactions I experienced? Because that's also something to keep in mind. If I so an example, I liked that I went and hung out with my my uncle and my aunt. That was a really awesome experience. I really enjoyed that. And then the next time that my uncle had messaged me and was like, hey, do you want to go for a walk on Friday? And I'm like, hell yeah. Yeah, I definitely want to do that. That's going to be great because I enjoy hanging out with you guys. Now, on a inverse thing, if I didn't like hanging out with them, then it would make no sense to hang out with them again, right? But it's only you that can discern what you truly enjoy. So if you do this with everything in your life, where it's like, did I like what I just experienced? And that's where I need the time. And I didn't realize I needed this in the past. So it's like, this is why I struggled a lot. Was not realizing I needed a day to kind of integrate the experience I had and then decide whether I liked the experience or not. Not in the moment, but later. Not because I can't decide in the moment. So it's like, it's different. It's like, in the moment, I get caught up in the moment because I'm being present, right? And so I'm experiencing the thing. And then afterwards, a lot of like swirling emotions and stuff is there. And that's when I'm doing the integration of the experience. So I experience the experience as I can in all aspects. And then I integrate that later to glean any insights or anything that I want to like experience. And it's possible that it'll get faster or the cycles will be different in the future. For now, this is what I realize is like a good like push and pull back and forth thing. But anyway, my point is, an example, I like video games. I also do like time alone. It's not that I want time alone forever, but I like my alone time. I don't know how much alone time I actually need. I'm kind of figuring that out, but it also doesn't mean that I don't need and want people around me. So there's like a push and pull there of I want people, I want to hang out with people. I don't want to hang out with them 24/7, but I do want to hang out with people. And I know that it's going to be a similar kind of learning curve for me when it comes to like the relationship stuff, where there's something that okay, I'm going to backtrack a little bit on a little side tangent. So I'm putting a pin in this, and then I'm going to go on the side tangent. Something that I have realized is when there's something that I really care about, I want to know everything about that thing I care about. I want to know all the mechanics. I want to know all the little details. I want to know everything. If it's something I don't care about, then I will not like remember any of that stuff. And that's because things I don't care about, quite frankly, I feel like it's unnecessary for me to go into detail and dig. Because if I did that about everything, I would have no time to do anything. So I pick and choose the things that I care about very carefully, because it takes a lot of effort and a lot of energy to go deep into the things I do care about. So I'm prefacing it this way. One of the things about relationships that it's been really hard for me is I want my relationship that I'm in, I want to know everything about the significant other. Not in a creepy way, but in like I want to know, like, I want to understand the partner so that I can be the best partner I can be. So it's kind of like I view there's a lot of different ways I could go and explain this, but I kind of view, I'm going to use video games, or actually, no, what? I'm going to do sports, because sports is a more easily understandable analogy here. So in sports, there is the base fundamental level of learning the rules of a sport. You know, if it's soccer, okay, you can't touch the ball with your hands. It's like fundamental rule, right? The whole thing is using your feet. Understanding how scoring works. All of the fundamental rules you learn. Once you get there, then there's another layer. And the next layer is like a filter. Some people won't care enough about that next layer to want to learn about it. And the next layer might be like positioning, or it could be like strategy, or whatever it is. But it's still like kind of surface level, but it's a deeper level. And with each successive level that you dig deeper into, there's more nuance. There's more, you realize how complicated something as simple as soccer can be. Because at its foundation, soccer is kick ball, into goal, score goal. That's it. there is so much nuance within individual play. Certain players have certain tendencies. There's a whole host of things that you can get deep into the weeds with. And so the reason I'm kind of bringing this up is because as you get deeper into all of this, players will get better when they are when they delve into these deeper levels. So you can hit a scenario where there's a player that's really good at the fundamentals, really good at some technical play. Maybe they're really good at like using their head in unique ways to like hit the ball, whatever it is. All of these individual things all add up, and they're like stacking components to where the best players are the ones that have taken the time to delve as deep as they can and learn everything they can about soccer. Learning from all the great players, understanding plays, understanding how to, manage stamina, how to when to pass, when to shoot, the different types of turf. Like different stadiums might have slightly different like feels when you're like running. Dealing with your individual like shoes. Like, yeah, paying attention to like what shoes you wear. Paying attention to how you run, the mechanics of running faster. Doing a whole side segment on like learning the fastest way to accelerate. All of these things, these top players will do, and you don't hear about them. You hear, okay, they train, but it's like, what are they actually training? Well, sometimes it's something fundamental like learning the best way to walk, the best way to run, the best way to accelerate and sprint. And those are not glorious things. Those are things that no one sees but experts. People who also delve deep. And so the people that can appreciate these top players the most are other top players or other analysts that have done the deep diving, because they see all the nuance with which the player is playing. So now getting back to the relationship thing, my view is if I'm going to have a partner, I want to be the best partner I can be. And that means knowing as much as I can about the partner. Because when I know all that I can about the partner, all of their likes, their dislikes, I know what I can do for the partner to make their life better, happier, whatever. And I know what to avoid doing. And then I also know where potential areas where maybe there's something I do that goes against something that they enjoy, and vice versa. Maybe they do something that I'm like, oh my gosh, I hate that you do this. And so understanding all the points of tension, understanding all the points of similarity, understanding all of these little nuanced things makes for it allows to have a deeper connection with the person. It allows for a deeper level of intimacy so that there's just, it's like again, only people who are equally nuanced and equally delve deep can understand why this is important. So in the past, a lot of the people that I've like interacted with or tried to like, date or whatever it is. And the whole love life thing, my past love life stuff is in a different video, so I'm not going to talk about it, but I hadn't realized at the time, but this is like fundamentally the reason I struggled is because this is the kind of person that I am when it comes to like love and commitment and relationship, and other people might not necessarily be in a similar vein. And that's okay. Everyone kind of has their own way of viewing love and relationships and everything, right? I'm not saying my way is better or worse than anyone else's. But it does require for my partner to also enjoy and kind of have a similar perspective so that they can truly understand the nuance of like what is going on. Because I will say, if they don't truly understand what you're doing, you can have scenarios where it's like you are very meticulous on doing certain things, and they're like, "Oh, thanks, I appreciate it," or whatever, very like kind of like offhanded, flippantly, or whatever. And it's nothing against them. They just don't understand the nuance behind you spending like an example. And this is something that I will say, like, I definitely have done in the past when it comes to like people. Um, taking time out of my like life to basically learn something completely new just because I'm like, oh, such and such really likes this thing. I don't know anything about this thing. I'm going to go learn everything I can about this thing so that I can communicate on a deeper level with that person. And it's this type of stuff where I'm not expecting my partner to do the same thing. But if I did have a partner that felt the same way I did about wanting to learn all the details about their partner, I feel like that would be like incredible. um, and I kind of get the feeling that this like partner that's going to be showing up, I get the feeling that maybe there's something. I don't know specifics, but I get the feeling that they will appreciate this kind of aspect of me, that I don't feel like has been appreciated before. Um, so yeah, but I don't know. And to me, this is all part of like how I love someone. Um, it is all the details. It is about all the nuance. Um, Imagine. So I take great joy in min-maxing builds in like video games and in um planning out, like an example in Final Fantasy Tactics, like planning out a very specific set of characters that I want to run the game in, even though it's totally not necessary. You can beat the game with very little, if any, min-maxing. It is not hard at all. But I really, really enjoy it's like it feels so good to be able to sit down and calculate, okay, without doing, like, I'm not a big fan of like 500 or 600 hour grinds for like to like cheese something. Like, okay, fine, if it shows up and it exists, okay, whatever. But like, if I can do decision making on like, okay, I want to be a specific class in order to get all of the stats a certain way, and you plan your build and it's great and all that stuff. That's the kind of stuff I really enjoy. Um, and so, taking all of that attention to detail and applying it to a relationship, that's like what I've always wanted to do, because that is my way of like showing that I love someone. Um, so yeah, and it just that requires a long-term deep connection that gets built over time, and it's not something you can rush into. You can't be like, all right, tell me everything about you, I'm writing a list, and then you make a list of everything about the person. That's not how it works. It's as you interact with the person, you pick up on subtle things about that person that maybe they don't even really understand that they do subconsciously. Um, and over time, it's like as you learn more and more about the person, it's like you can love all these different aspects of them. And so that's why when you see these relationships of people who have been in a relationship for 10, 20, 30 years, however long it's been, um, if they have that level of attention to detail, you'll naturally kind of pick it up over time, even if you're not someone who does what I'm talking about. But like, it's like, oh, I love the way my partner laughs when we tell certain jokes, or um, yeah, when they like cross their arms and scowl when I'm like talking about something. I know this, and this about it, or whatever it is. And I'm being very like, it's not super deep because I'm being general, but like, it's these things that get picked up over time to where it's almost like a psychic sixth sense. You know when your partner's not happy about something, when your partner's really happy and excited. And you don't even really need them to say anything. You just know. That's the level of like build up over time. And again, that takes time. It's not something that you can just get right away. Um, and it's more natural in just over time you just pick it up. But yeah, anyway. That's kind of that's what I'm talking about. Is that kind of like level of like, that's what I want to give to my partner, because I I feel like there's the base like falling in love with someone. But then once you fall in love with the person, you can keep falling in love with new aspects of them. Um, and I think that's where a lot of relationships kind of stop, is you fall in love initially, And then as you guys grow, through like experiencing life, if you don't keep falling in love with them with different aspects, if that one aspect that you fell in love with them maybe evolves, changes, or gets shaped in a different way, well, suddenly you're like, I don't really love this person anymore. Why? It's because the one thing that you did fall in love with them in the past, it's no longer there because they grew and changed. And it's like, yeah, well, if you're not constantly like experiencing new ways to fall in love with someone, then yeah, there's a potential for you to like grow distant and apart because you're not paying attention to like the details with them. So, but anyway, I kind of went on a little tangent there. So my point back, so I'm taking the pin out. We're going back to the little mini series I was talking about. The mini series, I can go through steps that are like most common steps that you can go through, but it's not going to replace the in-depth analysis that I can give in person or via, Discord or whatever communication it would look like. And so that's why the mini series can help maybe on a surface level of like if someone already knows how to do this or has an intuitive understanding of how to kind of like suss out their own thoughts and feelings, but maybe just need a little help, these videos might help. For people who genuinely just don't do this, can't understand why they're having a situation that's happening, and do want like to change, that's where it's like, okay, you probably should just contact me or find someone else that can do what I'm explaining, because that's where you're going to get the most help from. So yeah, but when I get back, I'm going to let this percolate a little bit to see what the best way for me to explain a like leading you down the path without me even seeing what the path looks like, because there are some commonalities. So I don't know. I'll really have to think about, because at the end of the day, this is alchemy that I've been talking about, this alchemization of like changing perspectives, understanding, your perspective, understanding someone else's perspective. These are all things that require a lot of like internal understanding and openness. So yeah, but okay, I think I've talked, it's almost an hour and 10 minutes at this point, but since this is the last day, I need to take a shower, and then I'm gonna go, let's see, what is it, like 10, it's 9:44, okay. So I'm definitely gonna go for a walk. I don't know, I think I want to go to that other mall, maybe, I don't know, maybe, I wonder if there's like, another indoor butterfly thing or aquarium or something that I can like go and experience. So maybe I can just get a car and go check it out. Um, because tomorrow is going to be sitting in a plane for 6 hours, so I definitely want to walk. Walk around and do stuff. I might go. There was a salad place that I ate at yesterday. I say ate at. I ended up getting a DoorDash because I was like, fuck it. um, but yeah, I think maybe I'll walk over there and then instead of coming back, I'll get an Uber from there to wherever I'm gonna go. Um, that sounds good. Then I'll be able to do some chatting. Oh my god, today might be a really crazy long day. I don't know yet. Uh, I just saw 1 hour 11 minutes and 11 seconds on the thing. That was cool. Um, yeah, I'm not really sure what the rest of the day looks like. So I guess I will talk to you guys later. Bye.
Turquoise or no touching? No touching.
Butterfly time, mommy. Hello, it is like 12:40 and I just got done with the aquarium / little butterfly thing, and it was nice. I got some footage that you guys probably have seen already. Well, yeah, you have seen already, but yeah, now I'm gonna go get some food, so I figured I'd walk around a little bit.
Wait.
Yeah, so I don't know. I could go. Anyway. I wasn't New Yorker enough to do that.
We're 25.
But yeah, I think I found a place that I'm gonna go and check out. So I'm walking over there. It's pretty close. I really enjoyed the little aquarium thing. I was really sad. I didn't film it, but there was an octopus that was like really huge that just had a really small tank. I just felt really bad for it. It was just kind of squished up in a corner, and I don't know. Sometimes I feel like that's really wrong. Like, if you're going to have a huge octopus like that, you should have enough like funding to make sure that it gets a big tank and things to do. But yeah, also I kind of feel my throat feels a bit off today, so I don't know if I have like something going on with it, or if it's just me talking so much. So that could be it. That's why I'm not. If I still feel like it tomorrow, then I will keep that in mind. But for now, I think I'm fine. So now I'm looking for food. There's a place Should be close TM on this side. So I'm just looking for it and making sure that I don't miss it. But I also had a really nice conversation with the Uber guy that dropped me off. He was very nice. I hope he was telling me about his struggles with like teaching. I'm like, oh man, I hope you're gonna do okay. Because it is tough teaching people and then feeling like your time has been wasted. Like, that definitely sucks. That's why I think it's so important to take time to figure out what it is that you're teaching yourself when you're teaching other people, so that you don't feel like you wasted your time. Because obviously you want to help them, but you don't want to feel like you've totally wasted everything. So yeah, I don't know. It is what it is. But the butterfly exhibit was very small. I filmed it briefly, but like, man, it was very small. Like, the other exhibit that I went into that I filmed briefly, it's like 4 times the size of it, or 5. And it had like a dome ceiling for sunlight, and I don't know. Nothing wrong with this aquarium place. I just think that definitely you can tell that more care was kind of put into the other stuff that I looked at in the past. So I don't feel like I've walked too much. Yeah, I think I've been talking a lot this week, and my voice is kind of struggling to keep up. There's a theater. That's kind of cool. But yeah, I think what I'll do is I'll walk around here a little bit, see if there's anything interesting in this area, and then once I've walked enough, I'll just get an Uber back. So this is a nice little area. So, Green Earth Apothecary. They're all boarded up, so. Oh, there's a sushi place. I don't know where this place is. It's supposed to be right around here. Maybe I walked past it or something. It's a drugstore. Gelato tea. The baker's workshop. Yoga folk. That's a great name. Okay, well, damn, I think I'm gonna let you guys go and figure out where I'm supposed to be going, and then I'll call you back, or I'll call you back. then I'll talk to you in a little bit. All right, bye. Hello, guys. It is 2:29, and I don't know, my throat is kind of struggling. I can tell. I think it's just really tired. Um, because I have been pretty consistent over the past 90-ish days on talking, multiple hours a day without really much rest. So yeah. Anyway, I'm back. I'm back at the place, and I ended up. So I was one like store block away from the place. I went and got food. Ended up getting an omelet, which was good. And then I called the Uber to come home. Originally I was gonna walk around, but I don't know. I just felt like I should come home. So I did. And yeah, now I'm going to, drink some water, get some more fruit in me, and I'm gonna not do too much until a little bit later. My plan is to go and get dinner, which will be the last meal that I'll have before the plane. Well, I say that, but I'm probably going to get something in the airport. I've thought about maybe getting food that I could have the next day from that. So there's a veggie place that makes salads, so that's what I'm gonna get for dinner. And it's walkable. It's like 25 minutes away or 30 minutes away. So I figure that'll get me over the 10,000 step mark, I think. Because right now I'm at let me look, 6,400. So that's fine, but I wanna get another. I want to get to at least 10,000 or more. So yeah. Also, kind of side thing. I think I don't know when it happened, but I think I forgot to wash the conditioner out of my hair. It's giving me that conditioner still in feel, and I'm like, Jesus. I was out of it this morning. So I don't know if anyone else has had that experience of kind of being a little distracted in the shower and then just totally forgetting to wash out your conditioner. Because I do I wash my face, do shampoo, then conditioner, and then I'll do the body wash while the conditioner is sitting in my hair, and then I'll wash it out all at once. And I just kind of forgot, I think. So it doesn't happen that often, but when it does, I'm like, oh man, I can't believe I just did that. So anyway, you can probably hear from my how I'm talking that there's something going on there. Anyway, I'm gonna go. Oh, I might record the going and getting food and coming back. You know, we'll see. I'd like to. So, yeah. But anyway, I'll talk to you later. Bye. Hey guys, it is 7:24, and I'm I'm laying in bed, kind of doing my nightly ritual. I just brushed my teeth. I have to get up at like 6:30 to just make sure I have plenty of time to do everything. Um, so yeah, I ended up walking 16,000 steps today, which I thought I was gonna only get like 10 or 11,000. So that's good. Um, but yeah, I think I'm gonna keep this a short one. Um, just want to give my throat time to just rest a little bit. Tomorrow's also going to be a short one. I mean, to be fair, I already talked for over an hour earlier in the day, but yeah. So I'm going to, yeah, just rest today, and then tomorrow I will, I'll probably do a message right before I leave. It'll be really quick because I gotta go. I gotta leave by 8. So, but yeah, I'll do a recap. Maybe like Tuesday, of kind of the whole trip and how I thought about this particular section. But I'm just feeling a little too tired to do that today. So, anyway, I'm gonna go. So, I guess just have a good night, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Bye.